The trade winds starting to swirl around the National Hockey League, including some big names. We'll get to that momentarily, Frank, here on the 5-minute edition of Power Plays powered by FanDuel. But we begin in Montreal. Big news today. AHL bound is Jacob Fowler, their young goaltender. How would you assess his 10-game stint with the Habs?
It was pretty good. He gave them stability in the net when they needed it. Samuel Montembeault had to go down on a conditioning stint. Fowler gave them quality minutes, but now his confidence has started to waver a little bit. 2 losses in a row, 1 to Detroit, 1 to Buffalo, where the puck's going in more than a goaltender would like it to. He has an opportunity to go back down to the minors, find that confidence, because he arrived onto the scene out of necessity earlier than they would have expected.
And it seems in 2026, 3 goalies more needed than ever around the National Hockey League. Sticking in the Atlantic Division, let's focus on 2 number-1 defensemen. Moritz Seider of the Detroit Red Wings, Rasmus Dahlin of the Buffalo Sabres. Who do you think has made the bigger impact for their squad this season?
It's a great question. Both players are having great seasons, but I will say Moritz Seider, because what Detroit is doing, playing a much better brand of defensive hockey, Moritz Seider's game has elevated in that regard. He's so good at denying clean entries into the offensive zone, block shots. He has had a monster of a season, and in Detroit, they're calling him Norris Seider for the Norris Trophy. Ultimately, it's going to be Cale Makar's trophy to lose this season, but he's having a Norris-worthy season in Detroit.
It's a quality nickname coming out of the Motor City. Let's focus in on a couple of elder statesmen, a couple of future Hall of Famers. Erik Karlsson with Pittsburgh, Steven Stamkos with Nashville, who's all of a sudden up to 20 goals on the season. Who do you think has more trade value between those two?
Now, I'm not sure you want to trade Erik Karlsson because of what he's doing for the Pittsburgh Penguins, and that team is on the precipice of a playoff spot on any given week. But the player who would have more value right now, I would say Erik Karlsson, because the point production is huge. His legs get him up and down the ice a little bit more, especially at 5-on-5. And the time on ice per game, Erik Karlsson playing just under 24 minutes a night still. As a 35-year-old, Steven Stamkos having a great season, 15 5-on-5 goals this year, but Erik Karlsson would have a little more to offer on a trade market.
Those 2 names will be hot on TSN's trade bait board all month long leading into the trade deadline. Let's talk about another guy who's going to be very prominent on the trade bait board, Elias Pettersson of the Vancouver Canucks. Can you give me a couple of teams, perhaps, that will be interested in him? Because it's a big risk for anybody looking to acquire the Canucks center.
This is a buyer beware situation, but I will say this about Elias Pettersson. He has played better, and he is not the biggest problem for the Vancouver Canucks right now. So 2 teams that are in the mix that it might make sense for, the Carolina Hurricanes, they always need an upgrade down the middle of the ice. Jesperi Kotkaniemi really hasn't been able to take his game to a level that maybe he thought or people would have thought at the time. That would give you an upgrade at that position. The other one, the Detroit Red Wings. Dylan Larkin's the number 1 center there. They would love to have a little more skill down the middle of the ice. It all depends on acquisition costs. But if you could turn that into a bit of a flyer and not give up a ton to get him, and he proves you right while getting him, those are 2 teams that could benefit by the good version of Elias Pettersson. Maybe we won't get the 100-point version anymore, but we're certainly not getting the 50-point version anymore.
One of the bets I find most intriguing on FanDuel these days, Frank, is the worst record in the NHL. Vancouver, minus 135. Seems like that could be a worthwhile investment. Let's finish with JT Miller and the New York Rangers. Oof. It has been tough for the new Rangers captain and his team. How much blame do you think he should shoulder?
The blame is everywhere right now for the Rangers. It can't just be one player. And yes, as the captain, you're front-facing and you have to answer to the media and you have to answer to why your team can't score at home and why you're giving up 10 goals and 8 goals. And it's been ugly all the way around. But to put it on one player, yeah, there's a little bit of blame for JT Miller, just like there's blame on the coach and the other players involved. The back end, the general manager hasn't been able to put a back end together that can get the puck out of their own zone. It's been ugly in New York, and there's plenty of blame to go around with everyone involved.
As we continue the trade theme, perhaps Artemi Panarin, a pending unrestricted free agent at season's end, could be on the move as well because the Rangers' season seemingly headed down the toilet. Frank, terrific stuff as always. Thank you for this.